Hello, it's Claire and welcome to my update for, well, it's October the 8th today, so this update is going to cover the stitching I did or didn't do, will be more accurate, in August and September of 2017. And this is update number 18, and I know that because I just had to look it up because every time I do this I can never remember what number video I'm up to. But yes, apparently this is number 18. So welcome to return viewers and welcome to any new subscribers. After I do this I'm going to have a look at all the comments I got from the last video because I don't think I've even looked or answered anything, so I do apologise if you've left me a comment. As I know a lot of other people are, I am completely behind with Flosstube and I have a new kind of approach to watching it at the moment, which just tends to be I select the most recently uploaded one and then I just look at what's down on the column on the other side, and if I've not watched it I just click onto it. So completely random and completely out of order. So I know there are some people I'm completely up to date with and then there are other people that I am so completely behind with, but you know, I think it's a bit of a losing battle. I'm enjoying watching Flosstube. At some point I will get to people's videos and it's very much I'll probably just watch the next one that you put out because I didn't watch really anything for August. And then I was away for about 2.5–3 weeks in September, and I think there's so many Flosstubers out there, which is fantastic. There's just no way you can keep up to date unless you've got it as a full-time job, and although I might like that as a full-time occupation, I'm pretty sure there'd be lots of people applying for it and very high competition, so at the moment I have to keep the day job. So I've got a few bits to show you. I thought I would start off just a quick little bit about my holiday, because I did buy a couple of patterns and a few other bits while I was away. So for those of you who don't watch or whatever, I was very lucky in that I got to go to the States last month. So we flew out on 30th of August and had 5 nights in New York. We were staying, I think, at one point very close to, I can't remember what the name of the cross-stitch shop is. And we almost got there. We almost got there if we could have figured out the trains. I persuaded my friend that I really wanted to go to this place, but we just couldn't get it sorted, and it didn't happen. But you know, never mind. Next time, there's a reason to go back. But we did have a fabulous time in New York. We had kind of 4 full days there, and we walked just over 44 miles. And I'm not lying when I say I'm just about getting over the blisters because my feet, the first day we went out, you know, jet lag, the UK is 5 hours ahead of New York at that point. So we were awake, we were knackered when we got there, and I think I went to bed at about 9 in US time. So of course we were awake at the crack of dawn. So we were out really early the next morning. It was beautiful blue skies, it was a lovely day in New York. So we were like sandals on, going out kind of thing. I just didn't think we would walk that much on that first day. So I wouldn't have planned on wearing a pair of Birkenstock sandals, which I can walk around in and go shopping in, blah blah blah. But I don't think they're designed for me to wear them for just over 16 miles, which is what we did on that first day. But it was fabulous. We saw lots of things, did lots of things. I have actually been to New York before, but quite a long time ago. So it was, I think it was the year after the attack on New York. So it was good to go back and see how the city had changed in all of the intervening years. And we went to see the 9/11 memorial and went to the museum. And there are other things that we did this time that I didn't do last time, so it made it feel very different. In fact, last time I went it was February and it was absolutely freezing out. There was snow on the ground. And of course this time we went and it was summer and it was warm. Did get a bit of rain but not too bad. And then we hired a car and drove out of New York City. I didn't drive out of New York City. The friend that I went with drove out of New York City. Actually driving most places was fine. The scariest bit of the driving I found was going into Boston, which just about gave me a heart attack. I don't know what it is, maybe just experience why we're there, but we're very glad that we didn't have the car when we stayed in Boston, because I don't know how many hands people in Boston had, but there was coffee in one, there was a mobile in another. I don't know how they were steering, and actually judging by the way that the cars veered in and out of lanes, anyway, we used the trains when we were in Boston. But in between, we managed to visit Connecticut. We went through Rhode Island. I thought Newport was lovely, would very happily go back there. We had 3 nights on Cape Cod, and actually I managed to meet up with a distant relative who, I think it's my grandmother on my paternal side, one of my grandmother's cousins, I think it was, because they're from Southern Ireland. They immigrated to Boston, big immigration of Irish to Boston and around that area, and she now lives on Cape Cod, so we got to go and meet up with her. And then we did a kind of a big circuit around, back through a bit of Connecticut and up north of Boston, and we visited, what's north of Boston? There's Plymouth first, which we drove through, and then is it Portland, I think, up above that, and then we basically made our way back down. We had a few days on the coast there in a place called Wells, which was again beautiful, lovely long stretches of beaches. We visited Kennebunkport, and we made it to the York beaches, so very beautiful, and such beautiful houses in some areas there. You can tell where, you know, the money is. I think some of the houses there were bigger, or some of the garages there, sorry, are bigger than my house. It was amazing. And then we came back through and flew back from Boston. So I had a fabulous time. One of the places we went to was, where was this? It was, what's it called? It was a Plymouth, it was a museum, but it was set up to show you how the early pilgrims would have lived, and it also had a Native American settlement there as well. And whilst I was there, I did find some cross stitching, so I came back with this pattern, which is the William Bradford sampler. I don't know how easy this is going to be to see. You can just about see it there, but I thought this was a nice thing to bring back with me from there. So the date on this, it says 1630, so I'm guessing the pattern is showing, what's it showing? The ship, it's the Mayflower, the Plymouth Rock. We also did go and see the Plymouth Rock. I can't see it on here, but you can just about see the Mayflower down here. So that was the first one. We did also visit, I'm going to forget all of the names now. It was in Connecticut, I believe. Kind of like a shaker. It basically had all of these early colonial houses kind of transplanted and rebuilt in this as a kind of a museum, which was a lovely day out. They did have some cross stitch there, but it was quite pricey, so it was a bit more than I was willing to pay. So I didn't pick up anything there. But then the final one that I did find was we went to Salem on the way back, and I picked up this one. So again, kind of a little sampler of Salem, sorry. So it's got the kind of the gravestones, it's got a witch, lots of witches in Salem, and then the House of the Seven Gables on there as well that we went to see. My favourite bit of the holiday, I think, was whale watching. I'm saying that because it's got a thing about whale watching on here. We went out from Cape Cod and did manage to see some whales. Saw a whale come up and down. It was amazing. So really good holiday. We did do some shopping, but tried not to do too much. Looking at what I've got in front of me, I did buy a pair of scissors. And I believe I got these in Michael's, and I used a coupon. So thank you to all of my American floss tubers out there, because you post enough about being able to get coupons to all of your craft stores. So when we pulled up, I couldn't even begin to tell you which Walmart it was, somewhere in Connecticut. In fact, I think it was the first day that we left New York. So I can't remember. Sorry, I'm getting pins and needles, so I'm just moving my feet a bit. So we got there and I saw that there was a Michael's, and I said to my friend, oh, I really want to go in there and have a look. And so I got my mobile phone out and I looked to see if there was a coupon. and it was 50% off one full price item, so I bought a pair of fabric scissors to use for my quilting because I thought they were very pretty. So thank you to all you guys. I did also go into Walmart, and I did post this on Stitch Mania. Sorry, all the crinkling going on, but you can guess what I got. I got lots of DMC, and this was 10 cents per skein. So amazing for somebody who normally, I worked it out at one point, so I think I spent, this wasn't all from Walmart because I didn't have all the colours I did actually go over a list for a couple of patterns that I wanted to kit up. So I think I bought 30 skeins, and I didn't buy all of them. I just bought one of each of the colours that they had there on offer because they didn't have everything. And I think I spent the equivalent of $3. And I think in the UK, what would that work out? So that would be 30 skeins. If I bought that in the UK from where, like my local L&S, that would have cost me something like £36. So quite a big saving, really. So yeah, managed to go to Walmart. We did actually complete kind of hit the big 3 craft stores while I was there, because we started off, we saw a Michael's, then the next place we visited was a Joann's, and then we finished off with a Hobby Lobby. I think that was on the day that we were coming back down to Boston. So I think it was actually somewhere in New Hampshire. Again, I couldn't tell you the name of the town. But when I went into Joann's, I was a bit overwhelmed actually, because, oh, what's this? I've got a coupon for Joann's, that's not much use to me. Didn't notice that. There was so much. I mean, we've got I suppose our equivalent in the UK would be Hobbycraft, but Hobbycraft does not have a patch on what you have in the States. And I thought Joann's was big until I went into the Hobby Lobby, which was just, it was a massive. I did kind of restrict myself a little bit. I knew when I went that I was looking for a couple of quilting rulers that I can't get easily in the UK. And I have actually, I might have them next to me. My little quilting roll that I made. Let's see. Got some US stamps left for some reason in my quilting roll. I don't know what they're doing in there. 2 little quilting squares. So this one is, I think it's going to be a 2.5, which is really handy because actually I've been using this to start my new starts, because I've got some new starts coming up. And then this one is a 3.5 square. So you can get them here, and I have looked on Amazon, but most of them seem to ship from the US, and you have to be careful because then you might be subject to paying import tax on them. So I went in looking for those, but I also thought while I'm there, I'm going to buy 2 US kind of themed fabrics to make a project bag from, because I thought that would be a good thing and to kind of remember my holiday with. So yeah, those are the 2 that I picked up in Joann's. What else did I buy? Just more DMC. I did buy some fabric, just got some plain blue, light blue 28 count even weave that I picked up. And what else is in here? There we are. I just bought some of these because I use these when I kit up my projects. So I store all of my floss in the little bags, and then I loop these onto these to keep them all together when I'm stitching. So yeah, so I can put all of this now. Sorry, rattle. I can put that all away now into my I've seen something else. What's this? Oh, and I didn't find an L&S after that, which I kind of knew because I've looked up beforehand. But I did find a quilting store, so I did come home with this little one, which I thought was lovely. So this is the pattern. I got a few kind of seaside, couple of quilting fabrics that I really liked. I love this one, the anchors. And then as I'd been whale watching, I found whales. And then finally I bought a panel, a quilting panel, which also had a whale on it, as well as other bits and pieces. So I don't know how easy it's going to be to show you this, but I can show you. There's your whale, and that's a seahorse, and then a big whale. I'm hoping you saw all of that, because actually I can't see what you're seeing. Yeah, so that was quite nice. It was, you know, the quilt store was lovely. That was somewhere near Wells where we were staying, and it was a place called Knights, I think that was what it was called. Sorry, pins and needles in my foot, so moving again. So yeah, had a good time, spent some money. But that's not what you're here for, is it? You're here for cross stitch. So let me, having shown you all that, I can put it all away and I can show you some of the other things that I've done. Most of August, I flew on the 30th of August. I was just very busy, had a really busy month, so actually stitching took a bit of a back seat. I did try my hand at my first finishing, so I do have an FFO to show you, and this is an older finish, but I knew what I wanted to do with it, and I had the frame to put it in, but I'd never tried framing before, so this is my first proper attempt at framing, and I followed the tutorial that Jessica did, and trying to remember her channel name because she goes by Tara. Is it Tara Stitches or something like that? She hasn't posted for a very long time, but the videos are still there, and she basically demonstrates the pinning technique, and I use that to do this. Can you see that? So there's no glass, and the mount board that's underneath, I just used a very lightweight batting just to give it a little bit of well, padding really, just to make it look a little bit puffed out, because that was kind of the look I was going for. And this frame, I'm just looking at the label on the back, was, I think it was something like £1.99 or £2.99. It was quite cheap, just from Wilko's. But I'm really pleased with how that's come out. And I'm trying to think who did the pattern. What's coming to mind is hands-on design, but I don't think it is a hands-on design. Maybe it is. But I finished this, I think I even finished this last year, so this isn't a recent finish. So yeah, and this sits up on my shelf opposite, so yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has come out. So yeah, my first job at pinning fabric. It's quite fiddly. Sorry, you don't want to see that, it's just got a really itchy nose. It's probably all the fabric fluff flying around. But yeah, that was a really easy finish. But easy but fiddly, I would say, because just lots of pins. And as Jessica said in the video, it does give you a sore thumb because you're kind of having to push all of these pins in get the fabric onto the mount board. But it's kind of therapeutic as well, actually, and it's quite satisfying when you get it and it's all straight. So yeah, I was quite pleased with that, and I've now got a few more things that I'm thinking about how I'm gonna finish them into frames like that. So who knows, maybe by the end of the year I might have got a few more things into the FFO state rather than just sitting in a box. So speaking of fully finished, sorry, I've got so much stuff next to me. I do have a finish, and this finish was in August. I finished this in August. I'm just looking to see if I've got the magazine, because I did have the magazine. It's here in front of me. This first finish was from Cross Stitcher, and it's a bell and boo pattern. So I'm having to come close because I've taken my glasses off, because I had there's not really any sun, but there seems to be a bit of a glare here, and it was just really distracting me. And I think along with the fact that I need my hair cut and my fringe is too long, I couldn't see anything, so my glasses are just here, but I'm a bit I do have to wear glasses to see. There's a better picture. and this is called Make a Wish. Can you see that? And it's from Cross Stitcher summer 2015. So I kind of made it a bit of a focus for a finish, because I have been on a bit of a finishing kick this year, just to try and I wasn't frustrated, I wasn't upset, I wasn't stressed or anything like that about how many whips I have. I think I just felt like I needed to get a few things finished this year, and because I've got a lot of stuff that I want to start, I've bought all of these patterns, and at some point I want to stitch them, and it's a bit like, you know, I need to move some things along. So I did focus, I did think this is one I could just get finished, so I did. So let's see, I think you can see her better that way. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with her. She's just stitched on a pale blue 28 count even weave that I had in my stash, and it's actually the same fabric. It's another piece of the fabric that I stitched the first vellum blue piece I did, which was called Pieces of Autumn. So this version of Belle is going to go and sit in the same box that one's stashed in. So yeah, August was quite good. So for August, although I didn't do a huge amount of stitching, what I did do was I did get a finish and I did get an FFO. I was a bit, I guess actually a way to describe how I was in August, I was a bit kind of goal orientated, again quite unusual for me. One of the other things that I stitched on was my Mirabilia, and I am just questioning myself about this because I might have done this in July, but I really don't remember. I think it was August. See if I can find the pattern. It's just been a bit of an avalanche to my left hand side, but I'm ignoring it for now. Always got such a mess to clean up after these videos. This is my Mirabilia, and this is Elizabeth. I started her years ago. She's going to be a long-term project. Myself and Elizabeth, it's long and it's complicated. But my goal with this one was to finish the other side of her, the other half of the dress that I had on that side of the pattern, because Mirabilias, they print them on both sides, and I wanted to just kind of finish, at least get one side finished. I haven't finished the whole side, it was just the bottom bit. I'm blabbling now. Babbling? I don't know. I'll show you. So here you go. So I've just got a tiny little bit here that I haven't done, but I finished filling all of this bit and brought it out, so I can now see how wide she's going to be, because that's the widest that her dress gets. So you can see it's fairly tight on the fabric. I think it looks like there's more on that side than this side, but the hem that I've got on this side is thicker than it is on that side. But she is quite tight on this fabric. And when I finished that bit, I've had to take this, unroll it, because it was on my, this bottom, a bit of her dress was rolled up, because I've now started working up here on her bodice, because I thought I'd quite like to get that done at least. But I worked on her in August, and then she got rolled up, and I haven't touched her since. But every so often I get a bit of a, oh, I feel like working on her, so she'll come out again at some point, I'm sure. They're up there. What else have I got? What's in here? Oh, I think this is a start that I started in July, but I don't know if I showed you. And I might have made a decision not to show you, because I think I was just a bit fed up with what I was stitching on, so I thought, new start might help. And I sat down, I think it was a Sunday evening, I watched about an hour of TV, I did a bit of stitching, that was all I got done, and I've not touched it since. But what I did start was this one. This is a Prairie Schooler, and this is Little Red Riding Hood. It's, I think I chose it for its simplicity, because I think it only uses three colours. 3371, 640 and 304. I didn't get very much done. That's it. In fact, I think it's that top corner that I did. So really not very much. And again, this fabric, it's a massive piece. I haven't even cut it down. That's the kind of mood I was in. I just thought, I'll just try something different. And I had these 3 colours in my stash. So I thought, I'm just going to do it. I've lost what I was going to say then. Oh, the fabric. It's a 32 count pearl grey linen, and it was just one I had in my fabric box. So I stitched on it that one evening, and I haven't touched it since. In fact, I have to say, I have to confess, when I was going through the whip basket that I keep all of my project bags in, I was like, oh, what's in here? Because I thought it was empty, because I didn't even remember that I've started it. So that goes to show how much attention I've given it to it since. I know I can tell you. So, and I've just realised I've left something in my bag, but it doesn't matter. I did take some stitching away with me, and I wanted to take something that's going to be quite easy to work on, and that I know I could wash, just in case it got a bit grubby with travelling. So I took from my stash this one. So this is a Bothy Threads kit, and this one's called Beach Huts, and I completed last year. There's 4 in the series. I've got all 4, and last year I completed deck chairs. Now I had started this. I was looking for this little Q-snap the other day, or sorry, R&R frames we have in the UK. Couldn't find it. It's in here. So on the aeroplane flying out, I was watching a film, watched Hidden Figures, very good. I thought I'll do this, and I'd already stitched 4 beach huts and the yellow. So what I actually stitched on this was the blue. Be astounded by my progress. Yeah, I did one strand of blue on this, and that's it. That didn't do any more stitching on it the whole time I was away. I mean, certainly in New York, we were out all day. We would get home at 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. It was a shower, and it was a cup of tea, and it was bed, and I was sparko. And then, I mean, it was like that for the whole holiday. Actually, we were so busy during the day that actually sitting down, stitching didn't come into it. I didn't read my book, nothing. So it wasn't until I think the 2nd week actually that I actually took a book with me. I had my Kindle, but I also took a book that I'd been reading before I went on holiday, and I'd been struggling to kind of get into. I think I finished it about 5 days before we came back from holiday. So yeah, stitching didn't happen, which is unusual because I do normally stitch on holiday. I did take another pattern with me as well, and this was one I won a giveaway that was done by Inboard, whose channel escapes me. Oh, I can't remember your channel name. It's not going to come to me. But I won a little kit, and she was very generous because she'd stitched it and then she re-kitted it up for me, and I was like, that's perfect. It's very small, it's purse size. I thought I can take that, I can carry that around with me. And carry it around with me I did. I don't quite know what possessed me. I did take it out to work on. It has one version that's done on white, and it has a version that's done on navy blue. For some reason I thought it would be a good idea to get the navy blue dark fabric out in a badly lit hotel room at about 9:30 at night and do some stitching. Needless to say, I think I put about 4 stitches in and then decided I couldn't see, so gave it up and put it away. And the reason I haven't got it with me, because I thought, oh, this is a purse size project, so I'm going to have to move again. I've got really bad pins and needles today. It's a purse size project, so I thought, great, I'll keep it in the little bag I've put it in, and I'll put it in my bag and I'll take it to work with me. I don't get time to stitch at work. We have half-hour breaks for lunch at work, so by the time you've made a cup of tea, got your lunch sorted, eaten your lunch, drunk your tea, no, it doesn't happen. But I have left it in my bag, because you never know, there might be that time where I'm somewhere. In fact, yesterday I went and got 2 new tyres on the car, and I thought, actually, I know I'm going to have to wait for that, so I'll take my stitching with me. Because last time I had it done, it was, because it's a Saturday morning, you just basically wait your turn. but I got there quite early, and he was like, oh yeah, we'll have it done in like an hour. And I was like, well, by the time I actually kind of then went to the post office and did the kind of things that I needed to get done, the car was ready to go and collect. So again, I didn't get it done. I am going to leave it though in my bag because I do want to stitch it. I love it. It's really lovely, which is why I wanted to win the giveaway, and I was very lucky to do so. So it's in there as my purse project, and I think at some point, if it just doesn't get worked on, I will put it out and add it to my stash here to do. What else have I got? I was going to show you kind of very logically, here's my finishes, here's what I've worked on. No, I'm sorry, there's just no order to this today. So I'm going to show you a pattern I got off of eBay. And this is one that I've wanted to buy. Excuse me. I don't know where that came from. This is a Sue Hillis cross stitch design, and it's called The Stitcher's Days of Christmas, and it's kind of like got the 12 days, and you can do them down as a banner, almost like a bell pull, and that's how I would want to do it. I've been looking at this for quite a long time, and it's just one of those things that I thought I'm always going to get. I just hadn't got around to getting it. So when I saw it was on eBay, I was a bit like, meant to be. Another one on eBay that I got, and I just love the colours of this one. It's called Hibiscus. I love pink and orange as a combination. Pink and orange, and then kind of that brown and blue. I love those two colour combinations. And this is by, I don't know if it's pronounced Hannah, I don't know if it's a Dutch way of spelling it. Hannah's Needlecraft. But there's lots of different flower versions that they do in that range. A new start. I've got a new start here next to me next. This is my second attempt at the video, which is why nothing's in order this time, because I got about 8 minutes into it, and I was just all over the shop. Not that this one has been perfect, but now I'm just going for it. I'm no expert floss tuber by far. I just do it, like the famous sports company do. Just do it. Don't worry about it. What's the worst can happen? Just thumbs down. Doesn't change my life. So here you go. Lizzie Kate, and this is the ABC of Halloween, or just ABC Halloween. There's no the. And I started this October, so I was a bit like, oh, I won't show you what I've stitched on in October, and then I was like, because I don't know when I'm next going to do a video, so I just thought I'm just going to show you everything I've got because it's just far too complicated. I haven't got much done on this one, but I have got that. You can see it. So basically I finished the top row and I'm starting to work on the second row down. And this was, it wasn't a full kit, it was the pattern and then all the floss that came with it. And I bought that at, I think I bought it at Alexandra Palace a couple of years ago, but it's been sitting just waiting to be stitched, and I thought, you know what, I just feel like some new starts. And excuse me, the way I've done it this year is when I've usually when I've finished something, I've let myself start something so that my number of whips doesn't go up, but that's all gone a bit to pot this month, and I'm just going with it. I was feeling a bit uninspired when I got back from holiday. Unfortunately, while I was away, I did cut my leg on a metal spike, which then got infected. So I had to have a trip to urgent care, and I had to have a tetanus booster, which was fun, and a course of antibiotics. And that was kind of the last week that I was on holiday. And so I was okay. It was where it was on my leg. I've still got a wound actually. It still hasn't completely healed, and it's very, very itchy at times. But the antibiotics just kind of If you've ever taken antibiotics and you've experienced the side effects, you know what I'm talking about. I won't go into it here, but it was unpleasant. And I think that with jet lag, and then just the fact that we were pretty much non-stop for a holiday, I was a bit knackered by the time I got back. So some new starts. I'm working on a heaven and earth design. This is Owl Autumn Colours. I'm still working on my first page. This, like my Mirabilia, will be a long-term project, but I have made some progress. So that is mostly page 1. I have kind of bled it down a bit across into the page below, just so that I don't get, I'm trying not to get, what's the word I'm looking for? I have no idea. I'm just trying to blend it so I don't get, you know, but that's what I've got so far. Love the colours on this. It's quite confetti heavy, and I'm still just continuing with trying to stitch on it. So it's full coverage on the 5th, and I'm trying to do it just so it gets a little bit more attention. I stitch it on the 5th, 15th and 25th. Didn't stitch on it at all in September, and it's the 8th of October today, and I didn't stitch on it last week. So mainly because on Thursday I knew it was the 5th, I knew that's what I was going to be stitching on, but this was over there and I was here and I had something else to hand, so I stitched on that instead. What else? What's this one? It's another new start. Again, something that's been in my stash for a while. This is a country cottage needlework pattern, and this one is called the Needlework Shop. Very pretty colours, very different from other stuff I'm working on, because this is quite pastel in comparison. And again, I just pulled some fabric that I had. I think this is a 28 count even weave, and this is a very light blue. So when I bought the blue that I showed you Belle and Boo on, I'd bought 3 shades of blue, and this was the lightest, and in fact for the pattern that I actually bought the blue for, I used the very darker. So these 2 bits of fabric, which were quite big, have just been knocking around for ages. So I just thought this would work on this one. And that's where I am. So a little bit of a border and just kind of working on the outline of the shop. But country cottage needlework, they're very nice patterns to stitch. They're very straightforward. There's no half stitches or quarter stitches. It's all charted in DMC. So stitching with DMC on an even weave fabric, country cottage. It's a nice, easy project to work on, and I think I just felt in the need of something that was straightforward, which is probably what influenced me a little bit in picking the Lizzie Kate one, because I find the words quite easy, quite straightforward, although that is using over-dyed floss. What else? Have I got anything else? Oh, I almost had another start, but I didn't. But I did kit up a pattern that I'd bought on eBay, and I bought this a while ago, and this is Serenade in Pink by Valerie Pfeiffer, and I didn't get any further than putting fabric and DMC together, so it's there ready to start. I don't know, I've just been feeling a little bit like I needed some different stuff to work on recently, but I don't know when I'll start that, because I've obviously started lots of other things in the meantime. Let's talk about that in a minute. What else? Oh, when we were in Connecticut, we went to an outlet thing. My friend had found her shoes very uncomfortable walking in New York. I thought, I'm going to have to take a drink. and so she wanted some new trainers. And when we went there, I saw a Vera Bradley shop. Now, our lovely Sherry talks about Vera Bradley quite a lot. I thought, I'm going to have a look. Well, needless to say, first I purchased a little pouch, and I use this in my handbag. It's just got my Burt's Bees, a bit of perfume, stuff in case I get a migraine. So that now lives in my handbag. And I did buy, get it the right way round, a handbag. So I came back with a new handbag and I love it. I love the colours. I love the kind of the grey and the bright pops of colour. It's got all of my bits and pieces in it. So this is the bag that I use at the weekend, because for work I use a backpack, because I have so much to kind of carry around, including my uniform. The other pattern that I really liked, I love the shop, I could have spent a fortune in there, and it's only the fact that obviously I had to fit everything into a suitcase at the end of the day, but I did buy a new lunch bag as well. So thank you, Sherry, for introducing me to Vera Bradley. Love it. I'm just checking that there's nothing else here that I should have talked about or wanted to talk about. I think, oh, there's just something behind me. Where is it? Oh, random thing I bought. Little a new little pattern holder. This is I bought this from Waterstones, which is a bookshop in the UK, and it comes like that as a little suitcase, and it's supposed to be for holding your books on when you're reading. But obviously I've been adapting it for use to hold. Put that together the wrong way now. Oh no, I've got it the right way. These little bits can fold out, and then what have I got? It holds your pattern. So that just usually sits next to me on the arm of the sofa there. So yeah, I've got on quite well with that. It was quite expensive. I think it was about £10, but it's pretty robust. And I thought this would be useful for going on retreat, because I go on retreat at the end of the month. I'm going to the Milton Keynes Stitching Retreat, which is coming up. And as we speak, I think everybody, will they still be there? I think it might just have finished actually. Oh no, hang on, that clock's completely wrong. The battery's stopped. We'll be at the Flosstube retreat in Austin, which I am very jealous about, but has got me very excited for the retreat that I am going to be going on at the end of this month. So I've for the retreat I have made something. There's a giveaway, I don't know if it's a giveaway, kind of a gift exchange is probably the right expression again. So I have made something for that. So I won't show you that because I don't know who it's going to go to. We normally do it if you take a raffle ticket, so it's anonymous. So what I might do is I might just film a little snippet of it and then add it into my next update. I will show you this. So what I'm currently working on, and what I've been working on today, it's another new start. So I've got a finish from the gift that I've stitched, and I've also been working on this one. So again, a Lizzie Kate, so loads of Lizzie Kate hanging around this month, and this is called Gather a Harvest. See that? And I'm making good progress on this. Still on the snaps because I've been working on it today. There you go. So I'm just working on this pumpkin down here. I don't actually have all of the colours that I need for this, so those leaves at the bottom are supposed to be filled in, but there's two colours that are used that I don't have. I've stitched it mainly as it should be. I believe it calls for sampler threads. I don't think sampler and classic colour works are the same, are they? But I've substituted, they called for, what did they call for? Copper, which I didn't have, but I did have colonial copper, which is this middle one here. I like it actually because you can really see the variation variegation, one of those words. And then the beak should have been stitched in old gold leaf, which I do have, but it was like 4 stitches, so I wasn't going to open a new skein of that just to do the beak, so I used that same copper to do the beak in. So I'm thinking I might get that finished. Might get it finished today, don't know, but I know, no idea what time it is. I think it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it might get done today, and if not, it'll get done in the next couple of days. I think that's all of the stitching. I have started a new quilt, which I really shouldn't be starting a new quilt. Oh, look what I got. Another thing I bought in Boston. I got one of the, are they called Where Are You? Or You Are Here? You Are Here. Got my Boston mug. And didn't realise that they did these, so I have actually bought the one for Oxford, which is where I live. Well, I live just outside Oxford, but I also bought that because I do like a nice big mug when I'm having a cup of tea. So my new quilt, I'll just quickly show you my quilt squares. So this is going to be a Japanese quilt, and the model quilt was done in grey and kind of a blue, I don't know what you call it, there is a name for it, that's kind of a Japanese style fabric, but I'd seen the cherry blossom fabric in there. And I knew as soon as I saw it that actually that's what I was going to use, because if I think about Japan, I think about cherry blossom. So I've made 2, and I need to make another one of each of these, and I have cut the fabric for them. I just need to stitch them together. And then to go with it, there's some Japanese embroidery. I've still got my needle on this, I'm just going to move it. So I've just started stitching that. Don't know how easily you can see it. There you go. It's a little bit like bright pink tennis balls at the moment. So when I chose the cherry blossom fabric, I knew that for my DMC I wanted a really bright pink pop of colour on that grey. So that's another, I've got so much going on. I am actually also, I've got in front of me, I'm putting together another quilt square, which has got a bit of work to go on that one. So then the home stretch, you'll be pleased to hear. So and so had a sale recently and I partook. So here's one of them. There's a soda stitch, and that is called Sky Blue Street. I just thought that was very cute. I love houses, so anything with a house. Also soda stitch. I thought this was so cute. But absolutely no need for this because it's very childish, very kiddie. But it was, I think it was like 50p or something. It was a bargain. And I thought, even if I don't stitch all of it, those motifs might come in handy. I mean, look at this. Look at that little owl and the giraffe and the chicken. So cute. I love that. I love tulips, so I saw this. Had to have it. And the thing I like about them, actually, soda stitch patterns, is they show you the different colourways and they give you the conversions, but they show you also that you can do all of the chart, or you can do a bit of a chart. They give you lots of options. It's very well put together. I also bought this one, which is a cube. I bought a biscornu with bicycles, and I bought one more. Where is it? There you go. Which is a triangle. So I've done a biscornu before, but I've never put a cube together, and that's all the same pattern. It's just showing you different sides, and it's stitched on different size fabric. So it's showing you what it would look like if you did it on 14 count Aida, 18 count Aida, or 28 count linen. No, sorry, 32 count linen. There's a cube to try, and then the same with a triangle. It's all the same pattern, but again it's showing you what it would look like stitched on the different sizes. So I thought that would be fun to try different things. This one, which reminds me of holidays in France. I can't read it without my glasses on, I'm afraid. Without my glasses and backwards, I don't stand a chance. And then some AAN ones, Alexandra Adelaide. So there's wreath, there's the heart, although I'd probably stitch it in the colourway that's shown on the back. I've always wanted this one, the Cardinal Christmas Ball, which I think Stitching May did a few years ago. I loved it as soon as I saw it. And then the bell. I can't remember if this says So and So or eBay, but it's a Mill Hill Haunted Halloween. And I like the boo. It's a Little House Needleworks herb garden. This wasn't So and So sale. This was one I wanted it as soon as I saw it, and I had to buy a couple of other little things, some threads. So I also, you know, you can't just buy some thread. So I got the Plum Seat sampler, Judge Not, because I love the sheep. I just love that one. You can see the expression on its face. So cute. And then the final things I bought on the So and So sale are Victoria samplers, and Orietta's just shown the ones that she bought, and I was like, oh, Hardanger. I bought some, but I wasn't going to go with any of Hardanger because I've never done it and I don't quite know if I'd be able to do it. And then she asked what names they were that I did, so I thought, well, I'll dig them out and have a look. Yeah, they're absolutely covered in Hardanger. I don't know why I didn't notice that when I bought them, and I have no idea. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing the Hardanger on this, but I love this one because it's called Tea and Stitches, so it's got a stitching theme on it, and that's why I bought it. So that's that one. Yeah, big old border of Hardanger there, loads and loads of cut threads. I mean, look at the corners. Can you see the corners? I mean, I sat last night reading the instructions for this and I was like, I don't even know what they're saying in the instructions, so yeah. So then I thought, well, I'll look at this one because this one's a bit smaller, and this is in the Alphabet Sampler series, and this is Q for Quilter. So I'll have to do a going up. Yeah. So I thought, oh, there's no Hardanger in it, but then actually look at the edges, look at the border, all cut thread work, all the way around. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was insane. I think I had a bad moment. Funny moment, not paying attention. Yeah. Who knows if that will ever happen, but maybe at some point I'll feel brave and I'll want to do it. Not today though. So that's everything. That's 53 minutes already, and I don't think I was going to have much to talk about. So if you've stayed to this point, well done you. Because it's been a while since I've, I don't know how long I've been on Flosstube. I think it's over 2 years already. But October is my birthday month, and I thought for my birthday I am going to give somebody a present. So I'm going to do a reverse gifting, if you like. So I have in my stash 2 of these. So one I'm going to stitch and one I'm going to give away. Now, it's not a new one, it's been out for a while, but it seems very relevant for the month. I was debating about whether I tell you what pattern it is, but I do think I should, because if you've got it then you might not be interested in receiving it. But I think I'm not going to tell you, because I'm going to give away this. So if you win it, I might tell you what it is, but there'll be a choice, because there'll be this and another surprise gift giveaway. It's October. I've told you it's appropriate for the month, so most of you have worked out this is part of the, what does she call it? I don't think she calls it witches, does she? Bewitching Pixies, is that what she calls it? I can't read it. Bewitching Pixies. So I have a Bewitching Pixie and a surprise gift to give away. So as per usual, I want you to be a subscriber. I'm not going to check because I'm lazy. So I'm guessing though if you watch to this point you probably are going to be a subscriber. You've got to be an adult. I don't want to be getting into any trouble over this. And all you have to do is tell me in the comments below as to whether you would be a good witch or whether you would be a bad witch. And it would be quite nice to know your justification for your choice. So no mention of giveaway, no mention of presents, gifts, whatever might give it away, because you know, got to keep the trolls away. It's the 8th day. I had planned on doing this video earlier, so I was going to say I will close it on my birthday, but actually that won't give a very long time. And knowing how far behind I am, I will probably let this run until, well, I think the first weekend in November, but I don't know what date that would be. I could have a look, couldn't I? Got my iPad next to me. Let's have a look, just so we can give people the chance to catch up. So if it's the 8th today, 1, 2, 3, oh, so on the 5th of November it's Guy Fawkes night. So how about the 5th of November as closing? If you win, I'll get in contact with you. We can have a discussion about the surprise. And whether it is something that you want or haven't already stitched. I have got a few other things that I can share, but I thought it'd be more fun if it was a surprise. Yeah, I think we'll keep it a surprise. But that's it. That's everything I think for this month. I think that's enough. Stop before it's an hour, because I know YouTube can be funny about these things. I never think it's going to be an hour. I always think that I can talk quicker than that, but then when I get everything out and look at it and then I start talking, it just never seems to end, does it? So 5th of November to close for the birthday gifting. Nothing about giveaway. Are you a good witch or are you a bad witch? And just for fun, you can tell me what influences your decision, but you don't have to. That's not part of the rules for the giveaway. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing as ever. I know that times are difficult with stuff. Every time I do a video there seems to be something going on somewhere, and I don't know what to say about any of it anymore. I'm just thankful that Flosstube does feel like a safe place, and that there are a lot of friends here. You know, we may never have met each other, we may never meet each other, but thank you for being a friend. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to clear up such a mess, and then I'm going to see if I can finish that Lizzie Kate pattern tonight. So take care, bye.